I do say specifically it's going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours a week of campaign work. I used to call it community work, but I think it's important to be clear around this, doing demands and issues. It's campaign work, not so much a political campaign, but a campaign around a demand. And I've added the language of 25 hours they have to do minimum, but 13 hours have to be doing something at least half the time, whether that's flyering or tabling or a press event, or it could be a target meeting that's doing something, but it's not just meeting planning. The readings is an important point of any syllabus. You'll have to decide which book to use. Obviously, I've written this book. You feel free to use that book, but there's other books out there in community organizing, right? The only thing that those books that don't have that mine does is mine is situated for a semester. For years and years, I was using 3 or 4 different books, just pulling from them and putting the syllabus together how I thought it should flow. I used the book on Organize, which is the Midwest Academy book. It's a great book. I used it for years, but it starts the campaign choosing in the middle of the book. So I had to actually use that, bring it up front. So you have to make those kind of changes. I included in the book student reflections, where the students reflect on the campaigns and other students read those. I would recommend as you do this, and with other professors start doing this, you ask the students to respond to these questions around the campaign. What did they learn from the campaign? What was the most successful part of their campaign? What would they have done differently? And then I have the students read those and it becomes part of the curriculum. Again, decentering faculty, which I always think is good to do. We're co-creators, but students are creators of knowledge too. You need to have some way to mix and integrate the action and the reflection. And I do that through the portfolio. This is an opportunity for them to take their action, take their reading and integrate them. So everything else is the same, right? We all do participation and so forth, but that's a defining feature that of this mixing. I happen to call it portfolio. You can call it whatever you want, but you're gonna have to figure out how to mix action and reflection. The campaign notebook is distinct in that they actually produce something that's going to be used, because how many times the students take a final and that's it as they go into the next semester. In our class, they actually produce a campaign notebook, which then serves as the next semester's model for they pick up and like, what were the lessons learned in that campaign? And do they want to reactivate or continue it? In that campaign notebook, it's really alive. And they do a final group presentation. We all do group presentations, but it's on what they learned in their campaign. So it's a bit different.